inside. Bradshaw, Stabler back. Here comes the rush. He sidesteps. Can he throw? He can't. The ball flipped forward is loose. A wild scramble. 2 seconds on the clock. Castro grabbing the ball. It is all a fumble. Castro has recovered in the end zone. The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here. He does.
Welcome to the Ladies of Dallas, a member of the Christmas Podcast Network.
Brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees and the Raider Ramble. Make sure you follow them to find our swag and some great content, including the amazing Angria dress. Today on the show, our 3-game winning streak has come to a painful end. And unfortunately, we have to play the Chiefs this week. More on that later. We've also got some news outside the nation, a new Heidi Game, and a couple of unforgettable lady killers.
There's a few. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So it was Thanksgiving the other day. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What did you do for Thanksgiving?
I drove up north with my dad and the people that live with him.
Random people?
Pretty much. He, takes in homeless people, and they live with him, and never move out. So, that's always weird.
That sounds odd.
My dad is caring and stuff, but he, brings these people in, and they're supposed to be there for a little while till they get on their feet and whatnot, and then it seems like they're there forever.
So he runs, a halfway house?
Kind of.
Well, it's good that he does that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but he has to kind of put his foot down, right, and make him get self-sufficient.
Yes, and it's weird having Thanksgiving with them. It was
imagine.
Just me, my dad, my Mark and Aaliyah, and then my stepmom, and then these 2 homeless people.
Well, I suppose that's giving thanks, right?
I suppose.
And
this one guy, I like butter as much as the next guy, but this guy had a roll, and he put an entire, I'm not even exaggerating, he put an entire stick of butter on one roll, and
that is not possible.
I almost threw up. No, he spread some on there, and then he grabbed more and spread that on there, and an entire stick of butter. And I couldn't watch him eat.
I don't think I could either. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love butter, but there's a limit. That's
Yeah, and I thought I put too much butter on my roll, and all I could taste was the butter, and then I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good times.
So, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was busy and exhausting, but it was really good. My father and family, dad, stepmom, brother, sister, and her fiance were up from where they live. And so we had a nice, big Thanksgiving. My oldest son came over and my uncle came over. And first time my house was full since I've bought my house, which was odd, but it worked because everybody fit. So that was good. And,
That's cool.
It was, of course, loud and raucous and, just like any other Thanksgiving we have. So it was great. Yeah.
Baby Jack's first Thanksgiving, huh?
Baby Jack's first Thanksgiving, and it went well. He slept through a lot of it, which was fantastic because my family is super loud. And he was able to sleep in the living room in the middle of all of it without, fussing or screaming or anything like that. Yay!
Oh, that's nice.
Thank God, because I would have had to kick everyone out of my house. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have to.
Yeah, it would have been awkward.
Well, yeah, get out. Except I think most people feel that way when they're with a bunch of family and they're like, I don't want you here anymore.
Yeah.
You've overstayed your welcome.
I don't mind having family over. It's nice because all my dad talks about, though, is football and politics, which, you're supposed to avoid politics. Luckily, he avoided religion this time. But my dad goes against the grain, and It's awkward. It's a little strange, a little uncomfortable for some people. And we all just kind of look at him like, Dad, we've heard this. You've said this 10 times, at least.
Yep.
And I don't live with him, so
like
my stepmom looks at me and she's just like, again.
Mm-hmm. My dad, for the first time in 3 years, did not talk about politics.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know if it's because he's a Trump fan and he's embarrassed about what's happening right now.
My dad's a Trump fan and he is not embarrassed. He has no problem talking about it.
My dad's everything is about Trump and how awesome he is. And I wonder if my stepmom was like, you are not allowed to talk about politics today.
Oh, that'd be good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Just one friggin' day, please. Just give me one frickin' day.
Right.
I mean, I don't care who you're affiliated with, but Jesus, I don't want to hear about the same subject over and over and over again. It's just obnoxious.
It seems like Trump supporters, that's all they want to talk about.
Well, it's probably because, and we're not a political show, so we'll get off this in a second, but it's probably because there are so many people that are against him. So
yeah.
I think my dad...
They have to defend.
Yeah, they want to defend him. So, and whatever, it is what it is. Like I said, I don't care who you're affiliated with. That is your choice. America's all about choice.
Well, America.
So, America.
Fuck politics. Let's move on.
Moving on. Football.
I want to be gushy. Hold on. I want to be gushy for a second since it was Thanksgiving.
Okay. Oh, are we giving thanks?
I have 2 things. I do want to give thanks.
Okay. Go ahead.
First of all, I'm super thankful for my amazing friendship with Angria. Really hard calling you that when I want to say your actual name.
I know.
But you have been one of the greatest supports in my life that I've ever had, and I love you. And I couldn't do this without you, so thank you. And also, last but not least at all, I'm thankful to be a part of such an amazing fan base. Raider Nation is I know we all argue and complain and whatnot, but when it comes to everything, we're a family. And I love living in Minnesota and having people scream across restaurants at me, go Raiders! Because, obviously, I wear my Raiders shit everywhere I go.
Right.
Did I tell you my story about when I was driving to work a few weeks ago?
I don't know. Tell me again.
It was 6:30 in the morning. I'm at a stoplight, and I hear someone yelling, and I'm like, what? Who's yelling at 6:30 in the morning? And I look over, and this girl in the car next to me is just screaming at me, Raiders! Raiders!
That's awesome.
And
that's amazing.
I was on the phone with my mom, so I didn't want to scream fuck yeah, or anything. So the idiot that I am, gave her the thumbs up. I've never given a thumbs up in my life. And I felt like such an idiot. I was like, did I just give her the thumbs up? What is happening right now? It's cool. Raider Nation's awesome.
At least you didn't give her the okay symbol. All right.
Oh my gosh, that would have been worse.
It would have been somehow worse. All right, I'm going to give thanks too. I am definitely going to reciprocate giving thanks because even though we've actually, it's funny, we've never actually been in each other's presence. We talk on Skype every week, and it's hard to imagine my life without Jenny. It really is.
Oh.
She's been amazing. She's been so supportive through my really difficult pregnancy and the really difficult decisions I've had to make over the last year or two. And I couldn't have done it without you. Love you. Love you.
I love you.
And I'm actually also very thankful for the people that I've met. Just through this endeavor, I started writing about 3 years ago. It was almost 4 years ago, I think. And since then, it's just been an outpouring of support and emotion, and all of those things are wonderful because I love them, and it makes it clear how passionate people are about their football. And that's what I appreciate. I'm thankful for people that are passionate about their football, that do their job, researching and knowing about their team and loving their team and supporting it. And even if it's not the Raiders, I love people that will, go out on a limb for their team. They're diehard fans, but especially Raider Nation. Because we're the best.
Hell yeah. We are. we all know Raider fans are loyal as fuck
Yes.
and support stuff through all the shit.
Yeah, we've had a lot of shit to go through. All right.
Yeah.
No more mushy.
Let's move on to some team news.
Yes, here we go.
I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better fucking execution.
So, I have one word for the game against the Jets, and that is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good word.
I really had no thought in my mind that we would lose that game. So I talked a lot of shit.
Doesn't it suck when you do that? And then we're like, laid the biggest egg ever.
Yeah, and then people come up to me and they're like, so what happened to your Raiders? I don't know, leave me alone.
I don't fucking know. You asked them. I'm saying the same thing, damn it. What the hell happened?
Yeah, exactly. So, as much as it's going to suck talking about this, we gotta talk about it.
Yep.
The Raiders were embarrassingly defeated by the Jets by a score of 34-3. Bringing their record to 6-5, which is still nice to say. 6-5, that's incredible for us.
At
we haven't seen
mid-season,
that for
like
3 years now.
Yeah, at mid-season it was nice being, 3-2, 4-3, whatever, and then we're 3/4 of the way through the season. So that is pretty damn good. I'm okay with it.
I think that the football gods knew that if we won that game, we'd be ahead of the Chiefs, and they didn't want that to happen because that's the Raiders' life.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
Yeah. So Derek Carr completed 15 of 27 attempts for 127 yards and one interception for a passer rating of 52.5. That's terrible. He had one run for 11 yards. That was fun to watch. Mike Glennon.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. Mike Glennon came on for him in the third quarter. I can't even talk about this.
It was comical.
It was. I was like, texted you, the giraffe fumbled the ball.
The giraffe.
Oh my gosh.
Good times.
Yeah, so the Jets were at a 31-point lead, and I'm sure they were like, well, we're going to lose this game anyway, so let's not get Carr hurt, take him out, put the giraffe in.
Giraffe. It's true.
He fumbled like 35 snaps.
He fumbled twice in 3 snaps.
Well, whatever.
And then he added another one
35.
on top of it. 35 is a good number because it felt like it. I mean, how do you fumble 2 times in 3 snaps? Well, I guess if your neck is too long for your body and your head kind of flops around independently of anything else, maybe. I don't know.
He probably doesn't have good hand-eye coordination, so he probably shouldn't be a quarterback, but whatever. Well, Josh Jacobs, he had 34 yards for 10 carries. Now, we knew going in that the Jets had a good run defense, so I wasn't expecting much, but I think we ran the ball too much, knowing that.
I think we tried.
Not that our passes were any better since we dropped 35 of those too?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with 35. Seems like a good round number.
Okay. So Jacobs was also removed to prevent injury since we couldn't win anyway. Jacobs continues to lead all rookie rushers in carries, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns, which is nice to say. I love him. If anyone wants to buy me a Jacobs jersey for Christmas, I will gladly accept that.
Because he is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, he is. The Raiders overall ended up with only 68 yards rushing on the day. This is really hard to say without laughing. There has to be some humor in this because it was so terrible.
Yeah, we have to find something.
Jalen Richard led all Raiders receivers in the contest with 6 receptions for 47 yards.
Jalen Richard, the running back, by the way. Richard, the running back.
That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Hunter Renfroe and Darren Waller added 3 catches apiece. We didn't see a very good game from either of them. I hope Waller can step it up against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, the Raiders struggled with several drop passes that killed a couple of early drives and made it difficult to build any positive momentum. That roughing the passer penalty, killed us.
That was a crap penalty, by the way. Mo got screwed. Mo got screwed. Screwed.
Yeah. They should have called a roughing the passer on Carr, and they didn't, and I was super pissed about that, too.
Yeah. I mean, Jamal Adams posted, he's been screwing with the Carr family all week long. Of course, because why wouldn't he? But he posted a picture that was clear, roughing the passer, helmet to helmet, gave him a big old hug. Second guy was coming in, it was terrible.
Yeah.
They should go back and retroactively throw a flag on him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
I agree.
Okay, well, we tried, I guess. On defense, Nicholas Morrow led the team, which is not an unusual thing to say this year. He had 10 tackles. Max Crosby added a sack, but one was stripped away because of the horrible roughing the passer called on Maurice Hurst, which we just discussed. So, and I'm not going to revisit that because it's disgusting. Despite the poor performance, the Raiders rookie class continues to lead the league with the most yards from scrimmage, TDs, rushing yards, receptions, and sacks among all rookie classes.
That's incredible.
We're building. We're building people. Rome wasn't built in a day, but one damn good draft is helping.
We went from the oldest team to the youngest team.
Yep, we did. It's crazy. Yeah. And it just happens just like that.
Yep.
The game was not only a bad loss of the day, but Hunter Renfroe took 2 really hard hits. The last one broke his rib.
Jeez.
And punctured his lung. And it's possible he's out for the rest of the season. That's going to suck. While LaMarcus Joyner missed the last few games due to injury, he is supposed to be back for the Chiefs game, so let's see if he can earn his keep. I have not been impressed with Joyner this year. Have you?
Nope.
I think that's an across-the-board thing. I don't know anybody that's been...
plays, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of good plays. He had one really good play in preseason. Great. Doesn't fucking count. Thanks a lot. What have you done for me lately? Not a whole lot. Anyways.
No.
Trent Brown is still not doing great. He showed up on the injury report for the Chiefs game as questionable, but I really can't see him not playing because he never... the man wants to Iron Man some football. He doesn't seem to like to sit out, which is perfectly fine. Reports have surfaced that there is a mutual interest from the Raiders and Richie Incognito to sign an extension to his current 1-year prove-it deal. I am totally good with that. Totally good with that.
He needs to quit getting penalties.
Yeah, I know. I think that, he's the enforcer. I mean, dude that's what he's kind of there for, is to make everybody uncomfortable. But he needs to do it without drawing flags, yeah.
A lot of his flags, really fucked up the game for us. I mean, every game we've played.
Yeah, they did. I think with another, we got to remember he's not necessarily disciplined from the game. You can practice all you want, but when you're standing up there waiting for the whistle to blow or waiting for the snap or whatever it is, whatever sport you're in, it doesn't really matter if it's just football. Think about professional, track stars. They have to wait for a whistle, and sometimes they get really anxious and false start, and that just happens pretty regularly. So if you can get rid of the false start penalties, that would be a big help. I think that would eliminate a lot of problems. Some sad news. Former Raiders QB and current league wide receiver, I think he's a free agent now, Terrell Pryor, was stabbed overnight in Pittsburgh. He underwent some surgery this morning, and he is in critical condition. Jenny, I know you have a little bit more news on that.
I don't have much more news because they didn't really put much out about it. All I know is that a female is in custody for the stabbing, but we don't know who she is or what's going on with that. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I
I'm
wonder
sure
what went down there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably find out more by the time we release the episode tomorrow. We're recording on Saturday, by the way.
Yes, we are. Saturday morning.
Saturday, I know. What the hell? How are we up this early?
I don't know.
You
No
usually
idea.
are. I'm not.
Yeah. And it's a lot less early for me.
Yeah.
We had a huge snowstorm the day before Thanksgiving, and we thought we wouldn't be able to go, and then we were like, okay, we have to get back before the next storm hit, and we got another huge storm last night, and it's supposed to last until Sunday afternoon. So I might be stuck inside.
Well, we had a huge windstorm, but they were Chinook winds, which is really warm. And so it melted all of our snow.
Nice.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Cool.
So my backyard is completely, snowless now. My dog's happy because he can go straight out and pee. Well, Domingo usually likes the snow too, but he's getting old. He's 16. And so he doesn't frolic in the snow like he used to.
Me neither.
I guess that makes three of us.
Yeah.
We did have a little, a huge loss. So some bad news. Willie Brown, old man Willie, passed away. He was the original number 24. He was outstanding. If you haven't seen Old Man Willie play, please go back and watch him play. He is the architect of so many game wins. It's you can't even count them. So let's have a moment of silence for Willie Brown. He was always the man that would come out in the draft and say, make sure you hug your mothers. It's Mother's Day almost, so give her some love. And we both appreciate that, being mothers. So, and so much more. So let's have a moment of silence for Old Man Willie. Okay, well, Willie Brown, thank you for everything you've done for the Raiders. You made us relevant. Well, helped keep us relevant. You were one of the quintessential members of the Soul Patrol, and we couldn't be more honored that you were a member of our wonderful family. So let's move on to some news outside the nation.
To satisfy your passing fancy with the rest of the league, here's the news outside the nation.
Whatever.
Well, we didn't have the only cringeworthy loss of the weekend. The Packers and Rams saw us get annihilated and said, hold my beer. And were blown out by the 49ers and Ravens, respectively. The 49ers and Ravens are two of the hottest teams in the league and face each other this coming Sunday. I am really excited to watch that game.
Me too.
Yeah,
I do believe they're going to hand the 49ers their next loss.
Yeah, me too. I think the Ravens are the best team this year.
I do too.
To be honest.
I think this may be a Super Bowl preview.
Yes.
Just going on record to say that. Yeah.
I would be ecstatic if the Patriots weren't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, me too. I think that is a common opinion across a lot of the league. I don't think it's just Raider Nation. A lot of people are sick of your face, Tom Brady.
For real.
Fuck your face, really.
Oh my gosh, you should watch the new South Park episode.
Oh my gosh. I've heard there's a Macho Man Randy Savage thing or something. I don't know. My son told me, you should watch it. And I'm like, when have I ever watched South Park? Never.
It's about them trying to steal Tom Brady's poop.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hard pass that one.
Oh my gosh, watch it or I'll disown you.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Fine. Anywho, I was really excited to see the Packers get destroyed because, I live in Packers country.
Yeah, you live Green Bay adjacent, so
Yeah, there's a lot of Packer fans here.
probably
And of
really
course,
annoying.
they gave me crap about the Raiders.
Yeah, of course.
And I lost $20 on that game.
Damn it.
The Raiders-Packers game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
Let's talk about the really big,
What?
much fun. Okay, let's just go ahead, and we're going to talk about this one for a little bit.
What are we talking about?
Browns.
What I'm about to talk about?
Yes.
Oh. The Browns. They're going to be in the playoffs. All right. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett remains indefinitely suspended by the league after a fight he had with Pittsburgh's Mason Rudolph. During the fight, Garrett ripped Rudolph's helmet off and hit him over the head with it. Also suspended were the Steelers' Marquise Pouncey for 2 games and the Browns' Larry Ogunjobi for 1 game. A total of 33 players were fined for their roles in the fight. The Browns and Steelers organizations were each fined $250,000, and the teams play each other again this week.
This is going to be a fun game. You know, the best meme that came out of that whole situation was Mason Garrett couldn't remember where he put his helmet, then it hit him.
He should be gone forever.
I agree. I think he's a whiny little bitch who lost a fight, and he stood behind his offensive line just like the little chihuahua that stands behind the big dogs. Like, he was... Okay, it was like that cartoon, and I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember this, but it was one of the old cartoons where they had a big, huge pit bull, or a bulldog. It was a bulldog, and he'd walk around with his chest puffed out, and then this little tiny yappy dog, and he would just jump around like, hey, what are we gonna do today? How are you gonna get? Are you? Blah, 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 blah. I don't remember what he'd said, and I'm not gonna be creative enough to say it, but. He would jump around this bigger dog like, ooh, we're going to do something big. Except for by the end of the cartoon, it would be like the little dog was whipping somebody's ass and the big dog got embarrassed about it. And that's not how Myles Garrett was. He was just standing behind his lineman picking up, still trying to fight, even though he got his ass kicked already.
Yeah.
Okay. Say what you want, but this is old school football. Yeah, you can look at some of the old shit from the 70s and 80s. And you know what my dad said with the time that we weren't talking about religion, or politics, we were talking about sports. He was like, none of these teams today would ever survive in the 70s. They would die. Like, literally somebody would die on the field. There would be no question. They could not get hit like that. And the 70s and 80s teams couldn't survive now because they would just continuously start from their half-yard line because they'd get flags over and over and over again. Until finally it would just be like, automatic score every time they got a flag. It's ridiculous.
Or the games would just end 0-0.
0-3, 2-4. Safety after safety.
Nice.
It's crazy. All right. Well, it's going to be a fun game. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yes. The Chargers have designated safety Derwin James to return from IR. He has missed the entire regular season to this point.
Boo.
Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill, boo,
Boo.
is expected to play against us this Sunday in spite of having a hamstring injury that was holding him back. I never would say this against anybody else, but I hope he gets re-injured.
I would never say that against anybody except for him. All right, in other news, Rams QB Jared Goff had a very rough few weeks. Monday night, he finished the last game in November without having thrown a single TD in the entire month. Poor guy. Feel bad.
Wow.
Eagles Pro Bowl guard Brandon Brooks left Sunday's loss to the Seahawks with what the team learned is an illness. He addressed the issue the next day and explained that he had been dealing with extreme anxiety before the game and when he was on the field. His nausea and vomiting had made him so weak and his symptoms so severe that he was unable to finish the game. We personally commend him for being open about it because we are all about mental health support, especially with athletes. They don't get enough of it. Everybody should be a little bit more concerned and considerate about that. So that's ours. He deals with this on a daily basis. We respect the hell out of him for putting on a brave face and putting a face on an issue that affects a lot of people. Lots of people. So good for you.
Including us.
Including us. Cardinals safety Josh Shaw, who has been on IR mostly this season, has been suspended until the end of the 2020 season at least for betting on NFL games. He can apply for reinstatement on February 15th, 2021. According to the NFL, no games were compromised by his bets and no inside information was used. Shaw originally made headlines 5 years ago when he played for USC. He had injured both of his ankles and told the team it was from jumping from an apartment building to save his drowning nephew. It had actually been when he was trying to avoid the police after fighting with his girlfriend. He's not exactly a criminal mastermind. Not exactly.
He is not.
The Eagles and right tackle Lane Johnson agreed to a 4-year, $72 million contract extension, including almost $55 million in guarantees. He is now the highest paid offensive lineman at $18 million average per season. So
That's crazy.
If you think Trent Brown was overpaid, screw you. He was not overpaid, by the way. Anyways, so hey, what can these people do to get involved in our show?
Oh, they can totally call us if they want to talk about anything. Tell us your thoughts on these games and your things you're thankful for. You can give us a call at 802-328-1867.
Awesome. Now let's get into a brand new Heidi game.
It's raining man, hallelujah, it's raining man, amen, it's raining man, hallelujah, it's raining man, amen, it's raining man, hallelujah, it's raining man, amen, it's raining man, hallelujah, it's raining man, amen.
All right, this is going to be a throwback Heidi game. This is just going to be me talking solo like I used to do when I called in and didn't have Angria and Jenny giving me feedback. Thanks to snowplow accidents and baby obligations and time differences, we just couldn't all get together to do a Heidi game, all three of us. So it's just going to be me. Anyways, I just wanted to lead in. We got our butts kicked against the Jets, but there's still a lot of good things that the Raiders have going for them. We still have the rookie class that's doing awesome. Raiders lead the NFL with 11 sacks among rookie defenders, and we're the only team to have at least 2 rookies with at least 3 sacks apiece. And since week 9, Oakland has registered 13 sacks, tied for the 4th best in the NFL during that span. Our tight ends are still doing good. We're ranked 2nd in the NFL in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. And even though we got our butts kicked against the Jets, the offensive line held up in the passing game. Running game was something completely different. The passing game, they only allowed 1 sack. So that's some pretty positive things that we can hold on to. Some of the tougher things we're facing, I'm just going to be honest, losing Hunter Renfrow is a huge blow. He has 36 catches on the year. Out of those 36, 23 were for first downs overall. And out of those 36 altogether, 16 of them came on third down. 13 of those third down catches went for first down. That's going to be hard to replace. Look for Darren Waller and Zay Jones to work the slot in the game. Doss could possibly be active. Rico Gafford could possibly be active. I think it's going to come down to one of those two. So we definitely have players that can replace him, but can they replace the full productivity? That remains to be seen. The big thing going up against the Chiefs this week, how is Derek Carr going to respond? And in all honesty, it's going to be how does the team overall respond? It's a team sport. Derek Carr has not historically played well in the cold weather, at least not professionally. When he was here at Fresno State, he actually played in a lot of cold conditions and did okay. It seems almost as if it's Arrowhead Stadium that's his house of horrors. His numbers in games where temperature is under 40 at kickoff aren't good. And if you've been listening on Twitter or if you've been on Facebook at all this week, you've had the statistics thrown at you. I'm just going to go over his numbers at KC itself. Regardless of the weather condition, he's 0-5 in Arrowhead. He averages 186 passing yards a game, 55% completion rate, 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and he's been sacked 17 times. The big number, the Raiders' average score with Carr playing quarterback in Arrowhead Stadium, we've only put up 12.2 points a game. So just over 12 points a game. That is going to be tough. We need to break out the touchdowns. Not, we can't go for 4 field goals. We have to be driving down the field and score touchdowns. We're facing Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a nightmare off the bye. He is 17-3 in his career in games after the bye. We have been facing the Chiefs a lot after their bye. Since 2011, we have faced the Chiefs 5 times as they came off the bye. That has contributed to our nightmare. Our last win in Kansas City was 7 years ago this past October. The one advantage that we do have coming for us, instead of it being a 10 a.m. Pacific start, it has been flexed back to being a 1:25 p.m. Pacific start. That could be huge. And as an aside, the announcer team that has been assigned to this game, Angria will be happy to know it includes Tony Romo. There's going to be some keys to us winning in KC. We have to win the time of possession battle. We've got to keep Mahomes off the field. The way we can do this is by running the ball and running it well. The last 4 teams that have rushed for more than 100 yards against the Chiefs have won. Titans, Packers, Texans, and Colts all have managed to do that. Kansas City's run defense is not good. I believe it's around 31st in the league. It's not good at all. They are getting healthier. So part of that has been injuries, but they are getting healthier. So we need to feed Josh Jacobs. We need to get him the ball, and we need our O-line to make holes for him and let him feed. We just need to get him going. Do keep in mind, though, he is still injured. A lot of people haven't even really talked about that. He still has a shoulder injury, and that's going to be tough for him to deal with when it's cold. The temperature at game time is going to be in the 30s. 30s are going to hurt when you get hit in the shoulder and get tackled. So hopefully he'll be able to hold up okay. He's been on the injury list every week, so he's been able to play through it, but it has affected him. The other thing we need to do, we need to win the turnover battles. We cannot give up turnovers. No interceptions, no fumbles. And we need to get a few turnovers for ourselves. We can get a couple of turnovers without giving up any of our own. The odds are good. The last thing is don't give up big plays. The Chiefs love to feed on big plays. With Tyreek Hill, oh my gosh, the guy is a monster. And I'm not just talking about how he treats women and children. He is a monster on the field, and he is explosive. We've got to keep him contained. Nicole Hardeman, it doesn't matter who it is. We just need to keep them contained. We cannot be giving up the big play. Can't be giving up a 3rd and 19 for 20 yards. That's unacceptable, and we will lose. When Angria and I were talking about this last night, she asked me, hey, what do I think our chances are to win? In all honesty, I think we have a 10 to 15% chance to win. We definitely can win. We're a professional football team. It is any given Sunday. We can do it. Will it happen? Everything comes together right. We might just surprise some people. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you, as always, to Miss Heidi. And now it's time for Lady Killer.
Who's the lady killer?
Who is our Lady Killer this week?
Our lady killer this week is Hall of Famer Willie Brown.
Woo!
A 3-time Super Bowl champion as player and coach, passed away last month. His accomplishments include being named 2 times first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, and AFL All-Time Team, along with more AFL honors too numerous to mention. He previously held the longest interception return in Super Bowl history. He remains the Raiders' all-time interception leader, tied for first with 39. Willie is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, and African American Ethnic Sports Hall of Fame. Roger Goodell said of Brown, Willie lived the Raiders' motto, commitment to excellence, with integrity, and touched the lives of hundreds of NFL players with his wisdom and wit. Raiders owner Mark Davis called Brown one of the greatest to ever play the game. He thanked Brown for how he treated his mother, Al Davis's widow, Carol Davis. Mark Davis said Brown always helped Carol Davis up and down the stairs on the plane, joined her for the dinners on the road, and came to her birthday and Mother's Day dinners each year. It was Willie who was her best friend. Mark Davis said, "We loved and will miss you, Willie." Brown is survived by his wife, Yvonne, 2 daughters, and a son.
We love you, old man Willie. We miss you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. The original number 24. Also, we've got to talk about the 4th pick of the 4th round of this year's NFL draft. The Raiders selected Max Crosby, DE, out of Eastern Michigan.
Yay!
In the last 2 weeks, he has a total of a forced fumble, 5 tackles for loss, 4 QB hits, and 5 sacks. Against the Bengals, he tied for the 2nd most sacks in NFL history by a rookie in a single game, and the most by a rookie in Raiders franchise history. Previously held by Greg Townsend, who is still, by the way, our sack leader, with 3 in 1983. Crosby also ranks first in franchise history with a total of 6.5 sacks through the player's first 10 career games. He leads the Raiders with 7.5 on the season. For his performance against the Bengals, he earned Rookie of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week honors. Like, right. Defensive player, not just a rookie. All over all of the players in the league. Well, in the AFC. Don't be surprised if his play earns him more Lady Killer titles. I can totally see that.
Yeah, he's been incredible.
He's earned himself a nickname, the Condor, which is great. He kind of reminds me of Ted Hendricks, the stork, the mad stork, in case you don't know who that is. Look it up. It's amazing. They're both like rangy, wide, huge, longest arms I've ever seen, I swear to God. That's probably why they call him that. Okay, well, let's get on to Seriously, Bro.
You know, we all have our moments. Some of them earn a place on our wall of shame. Seriously, bro?
This past week, the Washington Redskins defeated the Detroit Lions 19-16. They were led by their rookie QB, Dwayne Haskins, who came out with a big, huge chip on his shoulder. With 2 seconds left in the game, the Lions turned over the ball on an interception. Haskins was then supposed to finish the game with one more play in victory formation. However, he never made it onto the field for the final snap. Why? Jenny, do you know why?
Why?
Because he decided that he would go out into the stands and take a selfie with a fan. Seriously, bro? Seriously, bro? Dude, this is selfies can wait. You gotta finish the game, man. They couldn't even find him. Like, seriously, they could not even find him. They didn't know where he was at. They had to put on another quarterback. I mean, they probably I don't even know who they put on because I didn't watch that game. But seriously, bro.
That's hilarious.
Seriously, bro. But it did make for a really good story.
What has this world come to?
I don't know. Selfies. People are just going to start taking selfie sticks on the field. Anyways, let's wrap this up.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining us on Ladies of Darkness, a Crow's Nest Podcast Network production. If you're interested in donating some money to keep the ladies in the dark, please do so. Our PayPal link will be up on all our social media accounts. Make sure you listen to all of our CNPN shows, The Pillaging Podcast, East Coast Nation, CNPN Blackout, Put on Waivers, Inebriation, and the Crow's Nest Podcast.
Inebriation.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I must be inebriated.
It's a little early, Jenny. That's not stopped you before, but that's cool. Coming soon, more of us with little Jack joining our family. We're working on figuring out the right formula, length of episode, and when to publish. So make sure you pay attention. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app to get all of our shows. We will do our best, but anyone who has a baby knows that we already had to pause 3 or 4 times in the middle of this. Hopefully you didn't hear that or notice it. But trust me, we did, and Heidi did, because she edits our shows. Being our producer, she hears all the bad stuff. So we're working on it. We're getting there.
By figuring out the right formula, you do not mean formula for Jack.
No.
You were talking about Jack, and all of a sudden you're like, we're working on finding the right formula.
Yeah, not that formula. He doesn't do well in formula, just so you know. He's a boob man. Strictly a boob man. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Who isn't? I mean, seriously. So give us a call if you want to leave a voicemail. We always want to hear from you. Always. 802-328-1867. Let us know what you thought about the mini episode that we put out last week. I kind of liked it. What did you think?
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice, quick, just a little matter of fact. So we might just use that as our platform for our second episode a week, because we still want to do our twice a week episodes, just to get all of our content out there, just to get you guys everything you need. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty much done. It's too early for this nonsense. So keep an eye out on all of our social media pages for upcoming events, contests, stuff like that. If you have any idea for contests, please let us know. We didn't do the last one because it was the tight end thirst list, and I had a baby. So, I mean, you gotta kind of give me a break. I had a baby.
I worked super hard on that list.
I know.
Angria.
We'll get to it, I promise. We're going to get to it. Now that I, have like extra time where I'm not peeing every 2 minutes and throwing up the other times, I'll be able to sit down and actually write something.
Yeah, so. You need to work on your own tight end before you work on ours.
I don't even know what to say to that. What do you expect me to say to that? Okay, good. Well, it's time to go. See you next time on Ladies of Darkness. Go Raiders. Raiders. Fuck the Chiefs.